Good afternoon and welcome to the Bobby Moore Stand. My name's Gary and a very upbeat Bobby Moore Stand this afternoon after the fantastic game that we saw last night. I was stunned. I was stunned after that game, frankly. I enjoyed it so much. It was such a good performance. I'm sure you'll agree. Committed, the team of half-hearted misfits, they suddenly became, a cohesive unit, well organised, determined, fighting for each other. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I didn't want to come on straight after and do one of those sort of, hey, we won, when it brilliant, because I mean, I wanted to let my thoughts settle because I've been quite critical of Lopetegui, very critical of Lopetegui recently, but at the same time, I felt quite sorry for him because it was clearly showing on the man. So I just want to look at it objectively almost a day later and sort of assess whether that's changed the situation at all. Great night that it was. Has he earned another chance? So before we go there, please can you give this video a like? Please can you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already? The Bobby Moore Stand on YouTube. There, I said it right. And hit the bell notification icon as well. That would be really, really helpful. So Newcastle was a game we were supposed to lose, really. Nobody apart from a guy called Gary Brock, who was in the comments the other night on our Sunday show, called it as a West Ham away win. So well done, Gary. I also know somebody, a friend of mine, Gavin, who he won 20 quid. He had 20 quid on it. Amazing, amazing. These people have got more faith than me, it seems. But, going into it with Alvarez still banned, then he was banned, then he wasn't, then he was, then finally he was. I just had no hope at all for this game. I thought it was just the quiet walk to the gallows for Lopetegui. But the players, they turned up, didn't they? They turned up, each and every one of them, including the substitutes. I mean, it was really, really good in every way. From attacking sense, there was some really slick interplay. There was some lovely little triangles playing out of defence. We were defensively very, very solid. There were a few moments of danger, but you're going to get that away to Newcastle. They literally score in every home game, and they didn't score against us. We looked hardcore. Most importantly, we looked hardcore. Looked like a team of men who were trying to. Basically, we did outperform probably the fastest, most aggressive midfield and attack in the entire league. Now, I know they don't score hatfuls of goals, Newcastle, but they generally score at home. Having said that, they do create a lot of chances. And they didn't last night, especially in the second half. Just look back at it. Nothing happened. It was just a non event. We managed it so well. Every single player in that team was committed to the cause. And I think that all started, and I love to see this, by the way. Again, Bowen's had some criticism recently from us and from other channels about lack of leadership in the face of Alvarez getting himself sent off twice, Kudus getting effectively sent off twice, 5 games. So when you look at that, you think there's no on-field discipline, there's no off-field discipline. You've heard that, Kudus has fronted out Lopetegui and all that kind of stuff. It's all been going off. So you start to think this is just falling to pieces. Last night, Jared Bowen beforehand, team in a huddle, and you could see that he was speaking very, very passionately to the team, and they were listening. And they did listen. Now, we nearly got caught out early on, which tends to, that's a habit we've just got to kill. We've got to nip that in the bud. Stop, giving people early chances. Having said that, it was actually good defending, the way Kilman stepped out. So, it was a chance, but it was a properly disallowed goal. It was offside. So when you look at the way the team lined up, it looked like an actual unit, a proper balanced team, which I've not witnessed once this season so far. So again, I was stunned by this. I've got to give myself some credit because even though I've had a go at him lately, early on when Soler came in, I thought I'll have a gamble on this because I've read a load of stats and he seems to be quite good. So I said, oh, he's going to come good. Well, last night he did come good. So thanks, Soler. I'm going to take that one, even though I kind of went back on me original word. I'll take every win. Him and Paqueta seem to be on the same wavelength. They seem to have a lot of fun in there because last night is the first time in over a year that we've seen the real Paqueta emerge, the actual original Paqueta, the good one. And that is a welcome sight in a West Ham football team. It really is. But to do that, clearly he needs to be playing alongside somebody of kind of on the same wavelength, on the same level as him. Someone who's going to read, someone who can he can pass to in difficult situations. Because you remember earlier in the season, he'd pass a ball to somebody and we'd call it a hospital ball because they had someone up their arse. It didn't seem to matter with Soler. He'll happily take a ball in a difficult situation. Also, Souček provided all of the running and the energy and everything. He was all over the place, Souček, as well as score that brilliant goal. Mickey up front, the three front players were fantastic from the off. Mickey just kept coming back and winning balls. He was making it really difficult for not only the defenders of Newcastle, but for the midfielders of Newcastle. They couldn't rest on the ball. And he was doing it from one side, Souček was doing it for the other. These might not be the most, amazingly, talented footballers in terms of, flair. But when it comes to heart and commitment, what they bring to the team is equally important. You could look at Antonio at the moment. You say he's not scoring goals. What use is a striker who don't score goals? Well, that is the use of a striker who don't score goals. Somebody who puts that much effort into the team and disrupts the opposition and kills their flow. That is what Mickey Antonio brings to the team. We've got Somerville doing really, really well on the left. He ain't sulking about playing on the left. He is perfectly happy on the left. And he's kind of making that his own. Bowen was just a pest to Newcastle last night. He was fantastic, absolutely amazing. So, message to Antonio, if you could arrange to forget your passport in future when you're flying away to represent Jamaica, be most appreciated. I ain't buying that. Defensively, Wan-Bissaka and Emerson proved that they can play in this system, get up and get back again, and give the kind of the appearance that we're pretty solid. We didn't get caught out once on the counter-attack last night with big open spaces down one side, especially down Wan-Bissaka's side. That is a massive improvement in itself, right? Just didn't happen. In the middle, Kilman was bulletproof. Todibo was largely bulletproof apart from one slip, but he's just getting better anyway with every game. Got to give him time. Disappointed to see him come off. I hope it's nothing bad because him and Kilman are developing a proper partnership there. And I love the way Todibo just naturally pulls out into the gap rather than leave a gap, which is what we were seeing very much with Mavropanos early on. But early on in the season. But having said that, when Mavropanos came on this time, he put in a brilliant interception in midfield. He kind of moved out majestically to cut the ball out. Yeah, really promising move from Newcastle. Soufal stopped a clear goal scoring opportunity. Absolutely brilliant in the few minutes he was on. Rodriguez was used for his proper use, right? Which is the last 10 minutes, don't need any legs, sit and protect the back four. Well done, brilliant. Danny Ings ran around a lot, exactly like Antonio did. Not as effective, but did well for the few minutes he was on. There's literally, even Andy Irving. Andy Irving had a good game. He saw a fair bit of the ball. I think there's a lot to be said for having a balanced team over a couple of superstars. I'm telling you, the goals were brilliant in their own way. I mean, we haven't scored a set piece of bloody ages. It was a really welcome sight and a really intelligent piece of play from Thomas Souček. The way he went in, he faked, he came out again. The defender, the marker just lost him completely. He ends up with a free header, and he doesn't miss chances like that, does he? The goal from AWB, who bloody expected that? Nobody, literally nobody, especially AWB. But a lovely little ball from Bowen, and he's put it away nonchalantly, like he does that every week, which was very strange to see. I've got to be honest. The West Ham fans up there were fantastic. You heard them singing all the way through, start to end. Wasn't just when we were winning; it was the whole way through. And I will share some of Dodsy's videos right at the end of this because he was there last night. And one stat is that we are second in the Premier League overall for the amount of running done in the Premier League. Now, that suggests that to play this style, as you saw last night, you need fitness, you need energy, you need total commitment. Anything less, and this system just ain't working. Maybe the likes of Alvarez and Kudus, from that maybe they can buy into it now. But they've got to deliver the same level of commitment, whether it's going well, whether it's going badly. No sulking about being played on the left. No getting yourself sent off deliberately just because you're feeling like it ain't working. No, you got to play as a team. You got to be trying. Not even Paqueta got himself booked last night. Not Soler. It's like they're usually getting booked all the bloody time, right? So something's changed. I don't know what it is. So as for the manager, he appears to have some kind of idea after all, doesn't he? He got the tactics right last night. I emphasise last night. And apart from the Isak offside early goal, we didn't once get caught out. And we've now had 2 clean sheets, back-to-back clean sheets. And it might not seem much against Everton, but it's definitely something against Newcastle. You know, they always score at home, and they're a good side. So they know how to unpick a defence. And so I would say that things are starting to turn a corner. And another thing that I really loved last night, just finally, is that there seemed to be a creative spark as well. There seemed to be the ability of both Soler and Paqueta to be able to try and find the front players. They were pushing up quite a lot when the opportunity presented itself, but they were also quite disciplined in dropping in and not leaving gaping holes behind them. And also, Soler's got legs as well, which who knew? Who knew? But anyway, look, let's not get carried away with one game on the strength of one game. What did the game actually tell us? It told us the manager has definitely not lost the dressing room. That's for sure. It told us probably the return of Alvarez and Kudus will be pivotal in this season. Will they be as disciplined as or ill-disciplined as they were before, or will they come back with a new attitude? Will they even get a game? You know, we can't have half-hearted, sulky performances in that formation. Clearly, team balance has got to be everything above individual stars. I don't care who they are. Right, it was fantastic to see a West Ham team battling for each other. It's the only time this season I've seen that throughout 90 minutes. It's happened occasionally for a good half, but that's really it, isn't it? The pre-match huddle was fantastic, as I mentioned earlier. Really, really good to see. My main worry, really, going into this game was we look like we're dropping down and we're going to be in a relegation dogfight. After watching that last night, I feel a lot more hopeful that when it comes to the likes of Wolves, the likes of Leicester, the games that we must win or must get something from, I'm starting to feel a bit more confident about them now. I still don't think, we'll get anything from Arsenal. It's a bonus game. If we get stuff, so what? It's Arsenal, right? They're good. But, Wolves and Leicester are critical games. We might just be ready for them now. And also that is the return of Kudus as well. But if we do have a good game against Arsenal, Somerville's in there, and we get maybe a point out of it or something like that. Or even if we play well and lose, if it's a cohesive team performance and he doesn't do panic substitutions like he's been prone to, to try and turn it around and then get more stuffed. If that's the case, well, he's got to have the courage of his convictions now and stick with the players who seem to be working in the system. That's my view. In summary, time will tell about Lopetegui. I'm not getting excited off the back of one game, but I want to see West Ham win and play well. And last night they did. Who the manager is beyond that is irrelevant. It's all about results and performances. And I'm not going to just sit here and be afraid of being wrong, for instance, and stick to my guns demanding his head. We should all have the ability to evaluate new evidence and change our mind if necessary. I haven't changed my mind yet, by the way. He did all he could do last night. He knew it was last chance saloon. You can't ask more from a manager than what he delivered last night. So well done to you, Julen. He had tears in his eyes after the game as well. You could see it. You could see this was upsetting for him, right? And I'm a bit of I do sort of care about humans a little bit, And when I see he looked like when he first came in, he was all clean shaven and everything else. Now the guy looks like he's been sleeping rough for a week. He looks like the stress has been getting to him. He was asked after the game pretty much that question, has the stress been getting to you? And he said, it's my job. I'm a coach. He kind of pushed it away, but you can see it has been. But where we go from here, only time will tell. Will we be calling for his head again in a few games' time? I mean, look, I hope not, but he's earned himself a stay of execution for sure. I think looking at, the jury wasn't out anymore. The jury was out up until the last couple of games, but I think the jury came back and delivered their verdicts, and it was quite damning before this game. But I think now perhaps the jury have gone, retired to reconsider again with new evidence. Maybe. But again, one game does not a season make. So let's see what happens in the next 2 or 3 games and see if this is something, this is not just a freak, that it's a trend. Because if I see more of that, the commitment, the attacking play, fantastic interplay midfield, good defending, not leaving ourselves wide open, not playing what I consider really naive football for the Premier League. If we more of that, then I think he does have a chance of saving his job for sure. My message to the players is thank you for last night. You gave every ounce that you could. Message to Lopetegui is well done, and thank you for proving that you might not be useless after all. Like I said earlier, my priority is seeing West Ham win and play well and win even better. Right, last night that happened, and I'm not going to be the sort of person that says, going to insist that I was right and not back down. I'm going to look at the evidence. This is one piece of evidence. It ain't enough pieces of evidence, but it's evidence, and you can't ignore it. As Jimmy Greaves once said, football's a funny old game, isn't it? And literally nobody, thought that we were getting anything out of that game last night. So I'm looking forward to Arsenal on Saturday with a sort of sense of trepidation, maybe a little bit of dread, remembering last season's home game, which was frankly an embarrassment. We got murdered. They actually took their best players off when they were slaughtering us. Either way, look, it's a bonus game. It's Arsenal. It's a bonus game. And let's see if we can continue to see this emergence of an actual balanced team. Because a balanced team against Arsenal, maybe we won't get thumped. Maybe it'll be a tight game and a 1-0 loss, or maybe we'll get a draw. Who knows? But if we lose, it's an expected loss. We can't judge anything based on Arsenal. When we can judge is in the following 2 games against Wolves and Leicester. That is, unless we beat Arsenal, then we can judge. Right, so, Dodsey, well, back to the fans from last night. They were amazing. The fans who made, well done to each and every one of you. 3,000 plus made you that long journey up to Newcastle on a Monday night. Sky should not be making London fans do stuff like that. The last train back to London was at half time, right? So clearly everybody did other things, other ways of getting up there, which was probably coach or car or whatever. It would have been very expensive. Great to see Marlon Harewood and Carlton Cole in with the fans last night as well. Saw that on Sky. Fans sang the whole way through. You could hear it clearly on the telly, and I'll give the fans 10 out of 10 for that. By the way, my man of the match, purely because he was out of left field yesterday and he played so bloody well, and I think produced that performance, was Carlos Soler. I'll give him a 9 out of 10 for yesterday's performance, but then there's probably a few others that are getting a 9 out of 10 as well, right? But the fans, for me, they get a 10 out of 10 for effort, for all that travelling and all that effort and all that support they gave the team last night. And here are a few little snippets, a couple of minutes from Dodsey to show you the best bits of what he saw from. It's a bloody long way up. It's even difficult once you get there to get up to the top, right? But I'm lucky enough to see West Ham win there before, up at St James's Park, and it's really good when it happens. So enjoy these few videos from Dodsey. By the way, before I go, please can you subscribe to this video? Not this video, this channel, The Bobby Moore Stand. Please give the video a like, that's what I meant to say, and hit the bell notification icon as well, not necessarily in that order. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy these few snippets of our fans from last night. See you soon. Come on, you irons.